Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's Matt here, and welcome to the FM21 final series for this channel. And it is going to be called The Mad Hatters here with Luton Town. The idea behind this save is all the fundamentals of what we do with data analysis and for player recruitment. But also, Luton Town is very, very interesting. They've got a very unique squad. It's a very good blend of youth and experience. They also have a very, 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 very good academy. Just at a glance, players that you'll probably know that have come through Luton's academy: Max Aarons, who's currently at Norwich, Jamal Lewis at Newcastle. They're the two sort of most famous ones at the minute. Other players include Jay De Silva, who's currently playing for Bristol City. But there's a long, long, long list of players. Jack Wilshere actually started in the Luton Town Academy before going to Arsenal. And so on and so forth. I've got a couple of other players. There's Matt Upson, Matty Taylor, who used to score bangers all the time, Curtis Davis. There's just a long list of players who have played for Norwich and sort of gone on to become professional footballers. And that's reflected in the game. It's part of the club philosophy. They've actually got great youth and great youth academy and great youth coaching. But the youth recruitment is not great. I think it's set to adequate. Yeah, there you go. Adequate and adequate. Great youth facilities, great training. They've got a tiny stadium. We have only got a small stadium in Kenilworth Road, but we're due to move into the 17,500 stadium, which is called the Power Court in 2024. A couple of like fairly decent names. James Justin, another one who's come through the academy. Danny Hilton played there for a long, long, long time. And yeah, I mean the Hatters, they're a long-standing club. They've got a good history. The last sort of big trophy win, I believe, was the Carabao. Yeah, 88 in the Carabao, and then sort of a little bit of nothing. No FA Cup. I thought they would have probably won an FA Cup being such a good, long-standing club. But it's not the case. So what we want to do, we want to use our recruitment style to sort of pick up these good unidentified players and bring the Hatters up the league. The club's actually got a fair bit of money. I think it's 7 million in the coffers at the start. Yeah, 7.5 million, but the transfer budget is zero. So what we're going to do to reflect that, we have set the transfer window activity to be non-existent in the first transfer window, which is this summer window. And again, more interestingly, I've done nothing to this, by the way. This is how it is. We have one scout and one recruitment analyst. So what we're going to do, we're going to reflect it. We're going to use this method. We're going to get all three recruitment analyst positions filled in, and we're going to have one scout, one chief scout, who does all of our scouting of those players. We are not going to send a single scout out to scout anywhere in the world. We are only going to be looking at the minute purely for finance reasons of the club. We can only look at the Premier League, League One, blah blah, etc. Under 23s. So yeah, we're gonna get three recruitment analysts who are gonna scout extensively in England. And these are the type of guys we want. I mean, we want a young, like 15-year-old, sort of like that. And we want to nurture them through the Luton Town Academy. We want to bring them through. We want to, we want to do what we do on Football Manager that a lot of you guys have seen me do in the past. You still have to bear with me. I'm probably going to have to change the format of the videos because my laptop's getting a bit of a battering now as it's getting a bit older. I have got a new headset. You will notice that the quality is a bit better. I've had to take the face cam off because, as I say, the laptop has taken a bit of a hammering and is not really liking me recording. It's not liking me OBS studio. So we're probably going to have to change it up a bit. It might be a case of the matches being played in 2D. It might be a case of us just sort of going back and having a little look after the fact rather than during. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. The philosophy for the club is to play attractive possession, attacking football, and they want us to sign players under the age of 22 for the future. That kind of fits into what Luton do in real life. I found an article here on Training Ground Guru. They spoke to a coach called Stuart Smith, and his counterpart being sort of the head of the academy. There's a guy. Where was his name gone? Oh, Greg Broughton. So Greg Broughton has said, when I first arrived at Luton, the team were riding high in the championship with the team built around the most recent batch of academy graduates. Players such as Curtis Davis, Kevin Foley, Leon Barnett, and Keith Keane have broken into the team that won consecutive promotions. Coach Stuart Smith and I were given complete autonomy to shape the recruitment strategy for the academy, and we focused on three key areas. Number one is having an outstanding pre-academy. He lists just a few names: James Justin, Max Aaron, Jamal Lewis, Tariq Baconson, Freddie Hines, Jay De Silva, R3, Cole De Silva, Frankie Musonda. These are players who were born between 1997 and 2000 when he first turned up. Obviously, we can't necessarily reflect that on the game, but that's where the great youth recruitment comes in, because that's when our head of youth development will bring those players through. And with us being sort of like a London-based club, obviously we know there's a lot of London-based talent that could potentially come through and do well. So we need to try and pick them up. The next stage of it with players, again, we can't really reflect this, but we're still going to have to alter it, is identifying the late developers or players who have fallen out of the system. So they were looking at players aged 12 to 15 that they brought in. What we're going to do in that respect, we're going to try and find those players that are aged between 19 and 20 or 21 and go for it that way. And then the next stage of it is working with as many players as possible for as long as possible for the best environment. So these are going to be players aged 21 to 23. We're doing that because the reflection on FM is when a player reaches 23, um, that's sort of it for them. You can't sort of change their personality. You can't really change an awful lot about them. They're sort of set in their way, and that's how we're going to reflect that. So the recruitment analysts are going to find absolutely everybody for me. The one scout is going to basically say, yeah, go out and get that guy, go out and get that guy. So it's going to be a bit of a long old slog, but we're going to make it work. So I am going to leave you guys off there. That is literally just a quick introduction to the series. I'm going to leave you guys off there. We're going to do a lot of work off camera. We're going to bring in the one chief scout, trying to find the best that we can, as close to all 20s as possible, which is not going to be good because we can only offer about £900 a week for the scout. Best recruitment analyst we can find, and then I'm going to play a couple of games, and we're just going to go from there and see how it goes. Again, not the greatest introductory video, but it's just a quick introduction to the series. And as I say, I'm having to change the formatting of this. So if you have watched this video, it's just under 10 minutes. Thank you very much for doing so. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you can stick around for the series and see how we take this ragtag bunch of young and experienced players, Cameron Jerome being our best striker, and we can't sign anyone in the first window. How are we going to make this work, and how are we going to evolve the Luton philosophy? But anyway, as I said, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, take care.